Hello everyone, today we are going to make another video for Star Wars Legion, and this time I will be reviewing some more Jedi Council members with Ki-adi Mundi. So let's just get started. Ki-adi Mundi for 155 points, which I think is really a lot, and I will explain later, will bring 3 4 slots, a command slot, and a training slot, which is okay. 6 health, courageous 3, both very nice. Red saves, speed 2, classical Jedi stuff. Unfortunately not surging, it's a little bit more unfortunate, but it's still okay. Jump to action, which is always nice. Ataru Mastery, which is an amazing keyword. So, Ataru Mastery means that you can make up to 2 attack actions during your activation. First of all, that is really nice. And second, when you attack, you gain a dodge. When you are attacked, you gain an aim. So, nice to generate tokens. So both of the upgrades are really interesting already. Charge, which allows him to make a free attack action after movement. Danger Sense 1, that allows Ki-adi Mundi to roll 1 additional defense dice if he has taken a suppression, at least 1 suppression, which is really cool, especially now we have new keywords, new upgrades for the dark side, and I'm thinking mostly about Despair that gives suppressions when attacking. Well, you do that, you give him suppressions, and then he will get extra defense dice, so that kind of counters it, which is nice. But in general, it's not going to do much, except if you're being shot at a lot, or if you're fighting a demoralized unit, but even this way, like, the demoralized unit could just demoralize on somebody else, so maybe not that interesting, but still interesting. Deflect keyword, which is a classical Jedi stuff, immune pierce, classical Jedi stuff once again, and finally Master of the Force 1. You can read deflect over here, it's very long, so I'm not going to be explaining it a lot. So yeah, as I said, Master of the Force 1, which allows to flip back a Force upgrade when you end your activation, which is really cool. And then his lightsaber, that is 2 red dice, 2 black dice, impact 2, pierce 1, lethal 1, is a very nice lightsaber, especially if you can get the aim to trigger the secondary pierce. It is unfortunately a little bit less good than other Jedi because of only pierce 1 and dice that end really good. But the idea is if you can attack twice, since you will do 2 different attacks with pierce 1 each, it's like you had pierce 2. Unfortunately, it doesn't work against an impervious unit, but you have this lethal 1, and since when you're attacked you gain an aim, then maybe you can just get aims generated thanks to that and activate your lethal, so it's okay. But my problem about this guy is directly, I'm gonna say it, his spawn. Because when we compare him to Yoda, he got 5 more points, but Yoda does basically better damages, has better keywords, better stats in general, a little bit less health, but surges to block, so more or less better stats, better damages, better grades, better support actions, and better command cards, because Ki-adi Mundi has 1 unique command card. It is Force of Will. This one, at the start of Ki-adi Mundi's rally step, you may choose up to 3 allied units within range 2 of them. A chosen unit may remove up to 2 suppression tokens, then for each suppression token removed this way, Ki-adi Mundi gains 1 suppression token and may ready one of his exhausted Force upgrades. Additionally, each time Ki-adi Mundi uses a Force upgrade this round, after the effect is resolved, he gains 1 surge token. So, it is nice. It is a nice command card, really, giving 3 orders to 3 any type of units, and then you can just choose allied units within range 2 of Ki-adi Mundi, remove the suppression, and give the suppressions to Ki-adi Mundi, which has courage 3, so he will be a little bit more okay with those. Then you can give him 3-4 suppressions, and even though like he might lose in action, maybe that would be quite unfortunate, but still, he can be okay with it, and maybe you have taken something to remove suppressions, maybe not, but if you get lucky, you can remove suppressions, and as long as you stay at 2 suppressions, it's going to be okay. So, it's better to have suppression sometimes on Ki-adi Mundi than on his friends. And then for each suppression token removed in this way, he gains a suppression token obviously, and then he may ready one of his exhausted force upgrade, which is really nice because he has only Master of Force 1, so if you're triggering lots of force upgrades, then it can be pretty nice. And finally, each time Ki-adi Mundi uses a force upgrade this round, after the effect is resolved, he gains 1 surge token. So you can really do this when you're going to trigger all of your 3 force upgrades. You gain 3 surges, you remove suppression. It is a very interesting command card, I think, because basically you're going to be preparing your army to push in the round, you know? You're going to want to push quite hard in this round, because you have removed suppressions that you might have taken from shots. Ki-adi Mundi is ready to use plenty of force upgrades, maybe his 3 force upgrades with burst of speed. He has surge tokens available, he wants to just go in there and hit everybody. It is a totally fine command card. I could even say it's really an interesting command card. My problem about that is Yoda has 3 command cards, and they're all really good. He has a 3 pips that gives nice bonuses, especially for deployment with perfect auto control. He has a 2 pip that gives relentless and dodges. He has a 1 pip that allows him to go speed 3 move, and if you combine it to burst of speed, it's just like Yoda had like 2 bursts of speed. So unfortunately he's very expensive. Ki-adi Mundi is very expensive. That is really unfortunate. Now the great thing about Ki-adi Mundi is that he's a nice support commander that does okay damages, isn't extremely bad, and he's still quite, he will be supporting quite a lot. I'm thinking mostly about force guidance, for example, because two surges given to allied units, and that is quite interesting, quite free as well. In fact, for Ki-adi Mundi, it sounds pretty nice. I think it matches pretty well how you want to play him. You want to play like maybe burst of speed, then tenacity maybe, because he has a bit of a lack of damages, but tenacity will really efficiently enhance his damages, so that would be really nice. Then on command you can take I don't know, classical fire controlling powers orders, whatever you want, and then you're gonna want to have maybe force reflexes if you want, maybe force push. That is very nice, especially since you can retake them, but unfortunately it's 40 points, so a little bit expensive. Force guidance can be interesting as well. Yeah, I think he has a bunch of upgrades that look really interesting, especially to give bonuses to like light units and stuff. So I think he looks really cool. His upgrades are really nice, and you have this thing where, I think he's really nice. I think he's really helpful. He can be really helpful, but unfortunately he's a little bit too expensive. But if you really like Ki-adi Mundi, because you're weird, I guess nobody likes Ki-adi Mundi, but anyway, if you really want to play him because it's a Jedi from the Jedi Council and it's really cool, then yeah, I think he's not bad. And in addition, I think he goes maybe well with like Disturbance of the Force, so you will accumulate up to Danger Sense 2 and in the mid-table. Once like you throw Force of Will, take suppressions, make a big push, and then while you're in it, you need to survive Disturbance of the Force. Can be really doable, I think. Can be interesting. And then you have Wisdom of the Council. We can't really read it. I've explained it in my previous video about Mace Windu, that you can obviously check out. And it's a really nice one. Yeah, I think it's a really cool one, and feels pretty interesting. Now, I don't really like Ki-adi Mundi. I find him a little bit too expensive compared to Yoda, but I like him in a unit of ARC Troopers, because Jedis in ARC Troopers are amazing upgrades for 70 points only, and then from 90 to 100 points in general. With the Jedi, ARC Troopers give to the Jedi some tactical charge. They give Scoot 2, so really fast. Red says with tactical, which means when you move you get an aid, so really interesting. And with Jedis in the unit, they get really devastating, because first of all, Mundis brings Impact 2 PS1, almost his dice pool from one of his normal attacks as a commander, so really nice. 3 dice on the black is always going to be nice as well. It's going to be an average 2 hits, which is really cool because Octopus roll already 8 like dices, so on average you get 6 hits. If you add Ki-adi Mundi, in total you will get 6 hits, but impact 2, maybe crit, so with impact today can be really devastating against vehicles, and then Pierce 1, and it's always really nice. Immune melee pierce is also really nice, they are already impervious for range shots, but there are lots of melee attacks that are pierce too. So to fight the Jedi, for example, it is really nice. And since they already have charge, it means you don't get to you don't need charge keyword and you don't have it in the command card. So synergize really well. And then you can make a free action and you choose another unit, another allied unit within range 1 of this unit. Within range 1 of this unit, yes, and then this unit and the chosen unit may each remove up to 1 suppression token, and for each suppression token removed this way, the unit gains 1 charge token. So basically you're going to choose another allied unit that is going to be suppressed if you're suppressed, and that is amazing. Not only it allows you to deal with suppressions, and it allows another allied unit to deal with suppressions, but it also gives you surges for dealing with your suppressions easily. Now if you're fighting against an army that has lots of suppressive, first of all it's amazing. You're going to say, okay, well you have suppressed me a lot, but I don't search to hit, I don't search to block with my troopers, and I'm going to turn all the suppressions into surges, and I'm going to make a huge amount of value out of this. So it is amazing. And then clone troopers share tokens, so if you manage, like if you have 3 suppression on yourself, 3 suppression on the allied unit, you will get 6 surges that you will share to everybody around you, and that is really nice. So Ki-adi Mundi, and just like Mace Windu, is very expensive. I think Mace Windu's points are a little more justified than Mundi's points, but I still think both are very interesting as upgrades. But still, I prefer Mace Windu, and I think Ki-adi Mundi is my least favorite Jedi in the Jedi Council and in general. In fact, I think they're all better, or almost all. Even the customizable might feel better because they're just not that expensive, and he's very expensive. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I obviously really enjoyed making it, and if you like it, you can like and subscribe and comment if you want as well. So don't forget to do it, it would help us a lot. Now see you in another video, and have a good day.